Mhm.
Were there any specific philosophies that you taught your students that helped them go from like just curious about doing this to like able to jump into doing this?
I think I really liked just kind of coming up, again, coming up through the studio and just sort of learning a lot of everything. I came up so Tree Sound was very much they had hip hop, they had rock, they had every country. I mean, Elton John, Beyonce, Outkast, et cetera, et cetera. So I got to like either whether I was working on these sessions or assisting somebody or just being able to sit in the room because somebody liked me or whatever it was. I learned a lot about a lot, but then to sort of funnel that down to where like I want to make a song from start to finish, having it mixed and mastered to where I can hit play and people are like, wow, that's cool. That was sort of like that was really what I wanted to get the students. Like, I think it's just such a big mountain to climb when you're like, I want to do music.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Like what
Okay,
is
so like,
it's such
what
a
do I
broad
need? Yeah,
term.
well, what program do you use? And they're like, what do you mean, what program do I use? It's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Before we ever dive into plugins or chord structure or songs, like they don't even know what, a solo button is like. So I think it was just more of like, I just want to show you everything you need to know. All you need to know is about 10% of whatever it is. I mean, I always say 30%, but 30% of Ableton, 30% of Pro Tools. I don't know everything Ableton can do, but I can get a song signed to a label. You know what I mean? So I think it was like just showing them like, guys, like stick with me for a minute. I'm just going to show you everything you need to know from there on. Like, rather than like branching out and trying to grab all this information and all that sort of thing. Here's sort of a highway. And if you want to get off on once you get that, if you want to get it off on an off ramp and like learn something else and then get back on the highway, that was sort of my philosophy, was just showing them like, don't pay attention to that right now. Like, you don't need to know that right now. You don't need to know that. You don't need to have that piece of gear to be successful. You don't need to have that mentality. You don't need to have that plugin. Like, just, you need to have this stuff and this is how you do this and this and this. And all of a sudden they'd be, bringing songs into the studio in month 3 or 4. This was a 6-month program, but, they would kind of be bringing songs in like from start to finish. And then we could like, all right, cool. Now we can, like, your mix is sounding good, everything. Like, now let's dive into like, that's stock plugin mixing. Like, let's dive into like, let's pull in some more information, all that sort of thing. But the idea was just kind of to give them everything they needed to know to be able to make a song from start to finish, make a competitive song from start to finish without kind of the mystery of like, do I need this? Like, somebody told me I needed this. Somebody said I did, like, I'm on this program. I should be on this. Guys, like, no, I mean, not at all, so it was really more of like just boot camp,
Yeah.
boot camp mentality.
That is honestly one of the best ways I've heard that put. It's like, I mean, it's so true. You don't have to be perfect at this to be able to make something happen on like a fulfilling, sustainable career level.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a really the highway. And if you feel like making some pit stops on the way, go for it. But
Yeah.
remember that you're still on the highway.
Just get on the highway, like, let's
Yeah.
get going. I mean, let's like just showing them just exactly what they actually needed to know rather than like, and Full Sail. I went to Full Sail and it was the best time of my life. And I love Full Sail, still involved with them, but it was kind of like a year of sort of a lot of stuff that I didn't have interest in. I mean, I think we had what was it? Like an audiotronics, I think was the class. And it was kind of like soldering and all that sort of thing. And it was kind of
Oh,
like,
so
okay,
like,
like,
yeah.
I mean, which is fun. A lot of people love it. I was never that guy. This was still when I was like, I'm not a technical dude. So like taking gear apart, I was just like, I'm gonna fail. Um,
Yeah.
so I think it's really more like, yes, there's so much to learn. There's so much out there. And what Full Sail was trying to do was show you all these different careers that you could get into to make money, all that sort of thing. But if
Which
somebody wants to learn how to mix a record, all right, cool. Like, we're just going to dive into it and
yeah.
learn
And
it,
how long was